Thank you, Nikos. First of all, I wanted to say that the training session which Simel and Takis mentioned, I've been taking part in this week of training and have been quite impressed by the motivation of grassroots trade unionists to stay for a whole week and learn about cooperatives, worker cooperatives and social cooperatives. It's not very common to see that, and it shows that there is a strong motivation within the worker movement at present to develop these kind of cooperatives. Just a reminder that the organization I coordinate is the organization serving and representing social cooperatives and worker cooperatives, 50,000 enterprises between the worker and the social cooperatives. And part of these, on the social cooperative side, are involved in the management and the provision of public goods, such as water, natural spaces, public health, heritage, cultural heritage, and so on and so forth. Cooperatives are particularly appropriate for the provision of such public goods because of their standards, which are enshrined in the ILO recommendation 193, but before being enshrined in that recommendation, have been elaborated by the cooperative movement itself in a bottom-up fashion. These are not things that came from above. And these standards, which is a human elaboration by citizens of the world, have a triple dimension: economic, social, but also environmental. And this is increasingly obvious, and without going into the details of these cooperative standards, there is a clear reference to the community and thereby also to the environment. And so public goods can be managed and provided by the public authorities, through conventional privatization, or by the citizens themselves. I'm not going to go into the problems that we find with the two first types of management, and only focus on the third one, in which the cooperatives are active. And there is a problem in the world today. It is difficult. It's particularly difficult, and some academics like Elinor Ostrom, Nobel Prize winner, said it is very difficult at this stage still in the world to recognize, to understand that citizens, ordinary citizens, can manage public goods and can manage them in a self-organized fashion. Cooperatives have been, it's a story of 200 years of self-organization. And cooperatives are enterprises which are controlled by citizens, so cooperatives that are involved in the provision of public goods can be owned and controlled by all the citizens involved in the provision and in the usage of the public goods. And this is where I come to the concept of multi-stakeholder membership as a new concept in the world today, and especially among social cooperatives. This is very interesting. These are cooperatives that put together in the same, in the same cooperative, in the same general assembly, through different colleges sometimes, users, providers, workers, NGOs, and so on and so forth. And in several of these models, the predominant trend, I would even say, is that the workers, the staff, is also involved in the governance of such multi-stakeholder cooperatives. And this is very important because it's a guarantee that the services are going to be properly managed, and it's a guarantee also that all actors will really be involved in the, let's say, in the governance of such organizations. And just to give one example, there is one, for example, cooperative in France called NRCOOP, which is becoming an important one, where you have the providers of the service, it's all clean energy, renewable energy. They provide the energy to the main electricity grid in France. And so the user on the other side pays his or her bill to the electricity company normally, but he's actually paying for the electricity which is provided by the providers of the cooperative. And so on the one hand, you have the advantage that it goes through the mainstream grid, but at the same time, you have in the same cooperatives the providers and the users, and you know exactly how much you have been using from renewable energy. And in fact, in the beginning, it cost substantially more to the members of the cooperative on their bill. It's beginning to reduce itself, and they foresee that within a little while, it will be even cheaper to be a member of an ECOP when you pay your electricity bill. This, of course, has to do with scales and the amount of providers and users that are part of the system. Just to finish, I would like to, beyond the issue of public goods and beyond the issue of multi-stakeholder membership, just focus 1 minute on the concept of worker citizens and so the cooperatives of worker citizens. The social cooperatives and worker cooperatives are cooperatives of worker citizens which cooperativize work. Their job is to cooperativize work, employment. Their resilience has been, let's say, proven in many instances during this crisis, and they do need policy support, as I mentioned yesterday, but they also need self-organization. And this self-organization not only at the level of each and every cooperative, but also between the cooperatives themselves. And this inter-cooperative cooperation should take place, and normally it takes place in a successful way when it is both entrepreneurial, so cooperatives joining in consortia and so on, but also representative, political, so that you have federations and associations of cooperatives. This is something which is badly missing in this country, and social and worker cooperatives need urgently to organize among each other, as they have done in many other countries which have been faced with the same kind of situation as Greece now, and because otherwise you will never be properly recognized. It is not possible for a movement of worker and social cooperatives to have its interests be properly recognized if it does not federate and does not act as one actor who speaks with one voice in front of the ministry, in front of the office of the social economy. We had the representative yesterday, but also in front of the trade unions, of other actors of the, let's say, of the Greek society, and also internationally at the European level and at the world level. There are plenty of policies that you probably do not even imagine, I'm not going to go into that, at the European and at the world level, that really require that people in the cooperatives unite and federate in order to be part of this big movement, because we are a big movement at the world level. We are all connected at the national, continental, world level, sectorally and intersectorally. This is now a really well-integrated system, and it is important that the Greek social and worker cooperatives join together and join also this European and world system. Thank you.